A 69-year-old nun has seen the future. She has not slept in 3 days. She says God showed her specific dates. She has recorded a warning. She has written it down. She is pleading people to listen. She is only trying to warn as many people as possible before time runs out. She says August is coming faster than anyone realizes. Watch this now. Do not wait. Do not save it for later. Later might be too late. And tell us in the comments where you are watching from. We want to know how far this message is traveling. We are a family here. We are a community. And we will be praying for you. We will pray for everyone who watches this video. I will begin sharing today's experience. Hello, beloved brothers and sisters. My name is Sister Agnes Joseph. I am 69 years old. I have served God for 48 years. I have no reason to lie to you. I do not want fame. I do not want money. I want you to be saved. August 23, 2026 is coming fast. You will think I am a crazy old woman, but I have seen the future. It is fixed. It is certain. Please be ready. Please do not be left behind. I have seen many things in my journey with God, but nothing feared me most like what I saw coming 3 nights ago. I was kneeling in the chapel at 3 a.m. when God showed me a vision. I saw dates, real dates on a calendar, days in August 2026. That is only days away. I saw what will happen to the world and I cannot stay silent. I must tell you even if you think I am crazy. I saw the lockdown begin. I do not want this to be true, but it is. Please read this. Please believe me. We do not have much time left and I am afraid for you. I love you and I need you to be ready. In my vision, I saw a calendar on a wall in heaven. I will save you all the experience of how I got to get there. Let me focus on the main reason God asked me to reveal this. This calendar, the page was turned to August, and the 23rd was marked with a red circle. On that day at dawn, the phone started making sounds. Not just some phones, every television, every radio. The sound was the same everywhere. It was a tone that made your chest feel tight. People looked at their screens and they saw the same message everywhere. The message said people must stay inside their homes. No one explained why. There were no reasons given. There were just the words telling you to stay inside. Do not go out. Do not travel. Remain in your home. I saw the confusion on people's faces. They did not understand. They looked at each other. They looked out their windows. The sky was still blue. The birds were still singing. Nothing looked wrong, but the message kept repeating. Stay inside. Stay inside. People started to feel afraid. The fear came quickly. It spread from house to house like a sickness. I could see it moving through the neighborhoods. First one house had fear, then the next, then the next. It was fast. It was like watching a flood fill up a valley. People started calling each other. The phone lines were busy. Everyone was calling someone. Mothers called their children. Children called their parents. Friends called friends. Everyone was asking the same question. What is happening? No one knew. The news channels were not explaining. They were just repeating the same message. Stay inside. Do not ask questions. Just obey. The message was cold. It had no feeling in it. By 8 in the morning, people started moving. They were not staying inside. They were going out because they needed to buy food. They remembered the last time there was an emergency. They remembered empty shelves. They did not want to be hungry, so they got in their cars. They went to the grocery stores, but everyone had the same idea. Everyone went at the same time. The roads were full of cars. The traffic was bad. People were honking their horns. They were yelling at each other through the windows. I saw the parking lots filling up. I saw people running from their cars to the doors. The doors were already crowded. People were pushing. The fear was making them forget manners. They were forgetting to be kind. A woman fell down near a shopping cart. She was old like me. She was trying to get to the door. People walked around her. No one stopped to help her up. She was crying. She was trying to get up, but her knee was hurt. I wanted to reach into the vision and help her, but I could not. I could only watch. I could only see her pain. Inside the stores, it was worse. People were grabbing food from the shelves. They were not looking at what they were grabbing. They were just filling their carts. Bread was gone in minutes. Water was gone. Canned food was gone. People were fighting over the last bags of rice. A man was holding a bag of rice and another man was pulling on it. They were both pulling hard. The bag broke. The rice went all over the floor. They looked at each other with hate, real hate, over rice. over food. They forgot they were human beings. They became animals. The checkout lines were long. People were waiting for an hour. Some people just walked out without paying. They were stealing the food. No one stopped them. The managers were afraid. The security guards were afraid. Everyone was afraid. The air in the stores smelled like sweat and fear. It was a bad smell. I could smell it in my vision. It made me feel sick to my stomach. It made me want to turn away, but I had to keep watching. I had to see everything so I could tell you. By noon, most stores were empty. The shelves were bare. People were driving home with their cars full of food. They were looking in their rear-view mirrors. They were looking at the sky. They were waiting for something to happen, but nothing was happening yet. It was just the waiting that was making them crazy. The not knowing. The silence from the authorities. No one was explaining anything. That was the worst part. I saw the streets becoming empty as the afternoon came. People were back in their homes. They were locking their doors. They were closing their curtains. They were sitting in their living rooms with the food they had stolen or bought. They were watching their phones. They were waiting for an explanation, but no explanation came. The sun went across the sky. The shadows got longer. The heat started to go down, but the fear did not go down. The fear got stronger. The fear grew bigger as the light grew smaller. By evening, the streets were empty. I mean completely empty. No cars. No people walking dogs. No children playing. No one. The street lights came on, but they were shining on empty roads. The only sound was the wind and sometimes a siren far away. It was like a ghost town. But the houses were all full of people. Full of people who were too afraid to go outside. Full of people who were wondering if they would die in there. This is when I saw the angels. I was not expecting to see them. I was looking at the empty street, and then suddenly they were there. They were standing at the corners of intersections. They were tall. They were wearing white that was so bright it hurt to look at. They had swords. The swords were on fire, but the fire did not burn them. The angels were looking at the houses. They were watching. They were protecting some of the houses. I could feel their protection. It was strong. It was like a wall that you cannot see, but you know is there. But I also saw the demons. They were in the shadows. They were hiding behind trees and in alleys. They were whispering to the people who were looking out their windows. They were telling people to be more afraid. They were telling people to hate their neighbors. They were telling people to think only of themselves. The demons were smiling. They liked what was happening. They had been waiting for this day. They had been waiting for a long time. The first day ended with darkness. The night of August 23rd was long. People did not sleep. They sat with their food and their fear. They wondered what morning would bring. But I know what morning brings. I saw it. And I am telling you that August 23, 2026 is real. It is coming. My hands shake when I think about it because I know what starts on that day. It is only the beginning. The date is fixed. It cannot be changed. I do not sleep anymore because when I close my eyes, I see the empty streets and the angels with their swords, and I know that we do not have much time left. The vision showed me that the full truth will not come on the first day. It will take 5 days. From August 23 to August 28, the situation will get worse slowly. Each day will bring new problems. I need to tell you about each day because each day is important. Each day is a step down into something terrible. God showed me these 5 days so I could warn you, so you would know what is coming, so you would not lose hope when it happens. August 24th is the second day. It is Sunday. People wake up thinking maybe it was a dream. Maybe the message is gone. They check their phones. The message is still there. Remain in your homes. The fear is stronger now because it is real. It was not just a one-day thing. It is continuing. People start to run out of food faster than they thought. They ate their bread. They drank their water. Now they are looking at what is left and they are doing math. They are counting how many days they can survive. The math does not look good. The numbers are small. The stores are still closed. The doors are locked. There is no more food to buy. People start to go to their neighbors' houses. They knock on doors. They ask if anyone has extra food. Some people lie. They say they have nothing. They hide what they have. They are afraid. Other people share. They give what they have to others. They are the ones with light in them. But there are not many of them. Most people are keeping what they have. They are locking their doors and they are not answering when someone knocks. By the afternoon of August 24th, the power starts to go out in some places. The grid is failing. Too many people are using electricity, or maybe someone turned it off on purpose. No one knows. The air conditioning stops. The refrigerators stop. The food that was cold starts to get warm. The meat starts to smell. People have to throw away food they were saving. They cry when they throw it away. They know they are throwing away their life. They know they are throwing away their hope. August 25th is the third day. It is Monday. People should be going to work, but there is no work. There is only the house. The walls feel close. The air feels thick. Children are crying because they are bored and scared and hungry. Parents do not know what to tell them. The parents are scared too. They try to be strong, but the children can see through it. The children know. The children see that their parents are shaking. They see that their parents are looking at the door like they are afraid of what is outside. Medicine becomes a problem on the third day. People who need pills every day are running out. Diabetics need insulin. Heart patients need their medicine, but the pharmacies are closed. The hospitals are not taking new patients. People start to get sick. They are sick from fear and sick from missing their medicine and sick from eating bad food. I saw a man having a heart attack in his living room. His wife was pounding on his chest. She was screaming for help, but no one came. The ambulances were not running. She watched him die. She held his hand until it was cold. She sat there for hours just holding his hand because she did not know what else to do. She did not want to let him go. The neighbors start to distrust each other on the third day. They start to watch each other. They look out their windows to see who has lights on. They think if someone has lights, they have a generator. If they have a generator, they have food. If they have food, they should share. But people do not want to share anymore. They want to survive. They forget that we are supposed to love each other. They start to think only about themselves. They start to hate anyone who has more than them. August 26th is the fourth day. It is Tuesday. The hunger is real now. People's stomachs are empty. They are drinking water to feel full, but the water makes them sick if they drink too much. They are weak. They cannot think clearly. They are making bad decisions. They are yelling at their families. They are saying things they will regret, but they cannot stop themselves. The fear is in control now. The fear is driving them. They are not themselves anymore. I saw families breaking apart on the fourth day. I saw a father tell his son to leave. The son was 18. The father said there was not enough food for two. He said the son was old enough to take care of himself. He pushed him out the door. The son was crying. He was banging on the door, but the father did not open it. The son sat on the porch for hours. Then he walked away into the empty streets. I do not know what happened to him. The vision did not show me, but I know it was bad. I know he did not have anywhere to go. The fourth day is when people start to form groups. They are not good groups. They are groups of fear. They walk the streets looking for food. They break into houses. They take what they want. They hurt people who try to stop them. The police are not coming. There is no one to call. People are on their own. They have to defend themselves. Some do. Some hide. Some do not make it. I saw things on the fourth day that I cannot forget. I saw violence. I saw blood. I saw people become monsters to each other. August 27th is the fifth day. It is Wednesday. The silence is heavy now. The streets are silent. No one is walking. No one is driving. The only sound is the wind and sometimes a scream. People are hiding in their homes. They are whispering instead of talking. They are afraid to make noise. They think if they are quiet, the bad people will not find them. They are hiding under beds. They are hiding in closets. They are trying to be invisible. The spiritual darkness is strong on the fifth day. People are turning to dark things. They are looking for answers in the wrong places. They are calling psychics. They are using Ouija boards. They are trying to contact spirits. They are desperate. They do not know that these things make it worse. They do not know that they are opening doors to the demons. The demons are waiting for these doors to open. They come in when people invite them. They come in and they make the fear bigger. But I also saw houses of prayer on the fifth day. These were different. They had light in the windows, not electric light, a different kind of light, a warm light. The people inside were praying. They were reading the Bible. They were singing hymns quietly. They were not afraid. They had peace. The angels were standing around these houses. They were protecting them. The demons could not come near. I saw one house where 7 people were gathered. They had almost no food. They were hungry, but they were praying together. They were at peace. The angel outside their house was shining so bright. I knew they would be safe. August 28th is the last day of the 5 days. It is Thursday. The lockdown becomes total. There is no more pretending that it will end soon. People know now that this is the new normal. They know that the world has changed. They look out their windows and they see a different world. The stores are broken. The cars are abandoned. The bodies are in the streets. Yes, I saw bodies. People who died and no one came to get them. It was terrible. I cried so much when I saw this. I could not stop crying. The 5 days will be very long. Each hour will pass slowly. Fear will grow stronger every day. People will realize this is not temporary. It is real. It is happening. The 5 days will end and the world will be changed forever. I wept when I saw this. I wept for the people who were not ready. I wept for the people who thought they had more time. I wept for the families that were broken. I wept for the dead in the streets. I wept for the children who were hungry. I wept because I knew that this was only the beginning. After August 28th, there would be a little rest, but then November would come, and November would be worse. But that is the next part of the vision. For now, I need you to understand these 5 days. August 23 to August 28, 2026. 5 days that feel like forever. 5 days that will test everyone. 5 days that will show what is really in your heart. I am asking you to prepare your heart now. Do not wait. Do not say you will get ready later. Later might be too late. The 5 days are coming. I have seen them. Please believe me. Please get ready while there is still time. The lockdown ended on August 29th, just like that. The message stopped appearing on phones. The television started showing regular programs again. The government made announcements saying everything was under control. They said the emergency was over. They said people could go back to their normal lives. And people wanted to believe this. They needed to believe this. So they did. September started with a feeling of relief. It was like a heavy blanket being lifted off the chest. People could breathe again. They could go outside without fear. They could walk to the store and see food on the shelves again. The trucks had started delivering supplies. The stores were restocking. There was bread again. There was milk. There was meat. People filled their carts and they cried with happiness. They had been so afraid of starving. Now they had food. They had water. They had electricity that stayed on. They had air conditioning that worked. They felt safe. People went back to work in September. The offices opened again. The factories started running. The schools opened their doors. Children put on their backpacks and walked to school. Parents kissed them goodbye at the door. The parents were smiling. They were saying things like, "Thank God that is over." They were saying, "We made it through." They were saying, "We are strong." But they were forgetting something important. They were forgetting why they were afraid in the first place. They were forgetting that God had given them a warning. September had holidays. There was Labor Day. People had barbecues. They invited their neighbors. They ate hamburgers and hot dogs. They drank lemonade. They sat in their backyards and they laughed. They told stories about August. They made jokes about it. They said, "Remember when we were all hiding in our houses like chickens? Remember when we thought the world was ending?" They laughed hard at this. They slapped their knees. They wiped tears from their eyes. The fear had become a funny story. It had become something to tell at parties. It had lost its power to warn them. The churches were full in the first week of September. People went to say thank you. They went to pray. They went to sing hymns. The pastors preached about God's mercy. They said God had saved us. They said we must stay faithful now. The people said amen. They shook hands with each other. They hugged. They promised to be different. They promised to change their lives. They promised to read the Bible every day. They promised to pray every night. They meant it when they said it. They really meant it. But by the middle of September, the churches started to empty again. The pews that were full on the first Sunday were half empty by the third Sunday. People were busy. They had work to catch up on. They had bills to pay. They had vacations to plan. They had lives to live. They told themselves they would go back to church next week. They told themselves they were still faithful even if they did not go to services. They told themselves God understood. They told themselves God wanted them to be happy. October came and the parties got bigger. There was Halloween. People decorated their houses with pumpkins and ghosts. They bought candy for the children, they planned parties, they dressed up in costumes, they laughed and danced. They forgot about August completely. August was a bad memory that they pushed away. They did not want to remember the fear. They did not want to remember the hunger. They did not want to remember the angels and the demons. They told themselves that part was just stress. They told themselves, they imagined the spiritual things because they were afraid. The churches in October were empty again, just like before August. The pastors preached to small groups of old women and a few faithful men. The young people were gone. The families with children were gone. Everyone was gone. They were at soccer games. They were at birthday parties. They were at the mall. They were anywhere but church. The pastors looked sad. They knew what was happening. They tried to warn their congregations. They sent emails. They made phone calls, but people did not answer. People were too busy. This is the trick I am telling you about. The time between August and November is not a gift. It is a test. God is watching what people do with this time. He is seeing if they will remember Him or if they will forget. He is seeing if they will change their lives or if they will go back to their old sins. He is giving them a chance to prove what is really in their hearts. And most people are failing this test. I saw a woman in my vision. She was in her 30s. She had 2 children. During August, she prayed every day. She read the Bible to her children. She told them about Jesus. She promised God that if they survived, she would serve Him forever. She meant it. Her heart was soft. She was truly afraid. But then September came. The danger passed. She started going to work again. She started watching her favorite shows again. She started sleeping in on Sundays. By October, she had not opened her Bible in 3 weeks. She told herself she was still a good person. She told herself she would get back to church when things settled down. But things were never going to settle down. She did not know that November was coming. I saw a man who was a deacon in his church. During August, he shared his food with his neighbors. He prayed with them. He led Bible studies in his living room. He was brave and strong in his faith. But when September came, he started to change. He started to be embarrassed about how he acted in August. He thought he had been too emotional. He thought he had been weak. He started to act tough. He started to say that August was not a big deal. He started to make fun of people who were still talking about it. By October, he was mocking the church. He was saying religion was for weak people. He had become hard. He had become cold. The fear had not made him soft toward God. It had made him hard against God. This is what happens in the interval. People do not stay the same. They either get closer to God or they move away. There is no middle place. The time between August and November shows who is real and who is fake. It shows who loves God and who just loves safety. When the danger is gone, the true heart comes out. The interval is also preparation. While people are partying and laughing, things are happening behind the scenes. The government is making plans. The technology is being prepared. The laws are being written. The stage is being set for November, but people do not see this because they are distracted. They are looking at the pumpkin spice lattes and the costume parties. They are looking at the football games and the fall festivals. They are not looking at what is coming. In September, I saw the schools opening. The children were excited to see their friends again. They had been scared in August. They had heard their parents crying. They had seen things no child should see, but now they were forgetting. They were playing on the playground. They were laughing. The teachers were teaching lessons about what happened in August. They were calling it the August event. They were treating it like history, like something that was over. They were not saying it was a warning from God. They were saying it was a systems failure. They were saying it was a technical problem. They were lying to the children. The parents were happy to have their children out of the house. They could go back to their routines. They could drop the kids at school and go to coffee shops. They could meet their friends. They could talk about normal things. They could avoid talking about the angels they saw. They could pretend they did not see the demons in the shadows. They could tell themselves it was stress. It was lack of sleep. It was imagination. By October, the stores were putting up Christmas decorations. They were early this year. They wanted people to feel happy. They wanted people to spend money. They wanted people to forget, and it worked. People walked through the stores with their shopping carts and they looked at the lights and the tinsel. They felt happy. They felt like everything was going to be fine. They bought presents. They planned Thanksgiving dinners. They invited family from out of town. They made plans. The churches tried to have fall festivals. They tried to get people to come. They had pumpkin carving and apple cider. A few people came. Mostly the old people who never stopped coming. The young families stayed away. They said they were too busy. They said they had soccer practice. They said they had dance recitals. They said they would come back for Christmas Eve. They promised, but they were lying. They were not coming back. Their hearts were already gone. I saw a pastor in October. He was sitting in his empty church. It was a Tuesday morning. He was supposed to be preparing his sermon, but he was crying. He knew what was happening. He had seen the vision too. God had shown him. He knew that November was coming. He knew the three sons were coming. He knew the beings were coming. He was trying to warn his congregation, but they would not listen. They told him to stop being negative. They told him to be more positive. They told him to talk about love and hope, not about judgment. They did not understand that real love warns. Real love tells the truth. Behind the scenes in September and October, the government was meeting. They were having secret meetings. They were planning the next phase. They knew what was coming in November. They had been told by the beings. Yes, the beings were already communicating with them. The government knew about the three sons. They knew about the healings. They knew about the message of unity. They were preparing the laws. They were preparing the propaganda. They were preparing the people to accept the new religion, but the people did not know. The people were eating their pumpkin pie and laughing about August. This is why I am warning you. Do not be like them. Do not be fooled. Do not let September and October steal your faith. Stay awake. Stay alert. Stay prayerful. The interval is a test. Pass the test. Remember August. Remember the fear. Remember the angels. Remember that God spoke. Do not forget, please do not forget. November 2026 will bring the next shock. In my vision, it was early November. I saw the date on a newspaper in someone's hand. November 12th. The morning was cold. People were wearing jackets. The leaves were off the trees. The sky was gray like it usually is in November, but then the gray started to change. The sky opened. I saw it happen. There was no sound at first, just a change in the light. It got brighter. People looked up. They stopped walking. They stopped driving. They got out of their cars. They stood in the streets. They looked up at the sky. They were confused. They were wondering what was happening. Then the three bright lights appeared. They came through the clouds. They were round. They were bigger than the sun. They were so bright. They were white and gold at the same time. They hurt to look at, but you could not look away. They were beautiful, more beautiful than anything I have ever seen. They were arranged in a triangle. They stayed there in the sky. They did not move. They just hung there shining. People fell down. I saw it. They fell to their knees. They put their faces on the ground. They started to worship. They did not know what they were worshiping, but they knew it was powerful. They knew it was not from earth. They felt small. They felt afraid. They felt awe. They wanted to be close to these lights. They wanted to touch them. They wanted to be part of them. Then beings came down from these lights. They did not use ladders. They did not use ropes. They just came down on beams of light, like stairs made of light. They walked down. There were many of them, dozens, maybe hundreds. They came down all over the world, in every city, in every town, in every village. They came down. They looked perfect. They were tall. They were beautiful. Their skin was glowing. Their hair was long and shining. Their clothes were white and flowing. They looked like the pictures of angels that people have painted, but more real, more alive. They were smiling. They looked kind. They looked loving. They looked like they wanted to help. They started to heal sick people. I saw this clearly. A woman was in a wheelchair. She could not walk for 10 years. A being touched her hand. She stood up. She walked. She ran. She was crying. She was laughing. Everyone around her was amazed. They were clapping. They were cheering. A man was blind. A being touched his eyes. He could see. He looked around. He saw his children for the first time. He wept. The being hugged him. The being said, "You are loved. You are worthy. You are perfect just as you are." They healed cancer. They healed broken bones. They healed mental illness. They healed everything. Hospitals emptied. Doctors stood in the hallways with no patients. The beings walked through the wards and touched everyone. Everyone got up. Everyone walked out. It was a miracle. It was real. The news cameras filmed it. The videos went everywhere. The whole world saw. The whole world believed. These beings spoke words that sounded like love. They said, "We have come to help you." They said, "We have come to bring peace." They said, "We have come to end your suffering." They said, "You have been alone for too long." They said, "You have been fighting each other for too long." They said, "It is time to be one. It is time to be united. It is time to love each other without judgment." But then they started to lie. They said God is not what you think. They said God is not separate from you. They said God is in everything. God is in you. God is in the trees. God is in the stars. You do not need to worship a man on a cross. That was a misunderstanding. That was a story from old times. Jesus was a good teacher. He was not God. He was not the only way. There are many ways. There are many paths. All paths lead to the same place. They said all religions are the same. They said Christianity and Buddhism and Islam and Hinduism and all the others are just different words for the same truth. They said the books are just stories. They said the rules are just made by men. They said there is no sin. Sin is just a word humans made to control each other. You are not sinners. You are divine. You are perfect. You do not need to be saved. You do not need forgiveness. You just need to accept yourself. They said there is no judgment. No one will be punished. There is no hell, there is no devil. Those are just stories to scare children. God loves everyone. God would never send anyone to a bad place. Everyone goes to the light when they die. Everyone is saved. Everyone is good. Do not judge each other. Do not say anyone is wrong. Accept everything. Accept everyone. Just love. Many people believed them. I saw crowds of people listening. They were nodding. They were saying, "Yes, this makes sense. This is what we always believed deep down. This feels right. This feels good." They were relieved. They did not want to be sinners. They did not want to feel guilty. They wanted to hear that they were perfect just as they were. They wanted to hear that they did not need to change. Even Christians believed them. I saw this and I wept. I saw people who went to church every Sunday. I saw people who read their Bibles. I saw people who prayed. They listened to these beings and they said maybe we were wrong. Maybe we were too narrow. Maybe we were too judgmental. Maybe Jesus is not the only way. Maybe we should be more open. Maybe we should accept other religions. Maybe we should stop talking about sin. Maybe we should just love everyone and let God sort it out. They wanted peace. They were tired of fighting. They were tired of being called haters because they said Jesus was the only way. They were tired of being called bigots because they said marriage was between a man and a woman. They were tired of being called judgmental because they said sin was real. They wanted the fighting to stop. They wanted to be liked. They wanted to be accepted, so they believed the lie. They said, "Yes, you are right. We will stop being exclusive. We will stop saying Jesus is the only way. We will worship with you." These beings asked people to worship them. They did not say it like a command at first. They said it like an invitation. They said, "We are the way to the light." They said, "We can guide you." They said, "Bow down with us. Bow down to the light. Bow down to love. Bow down to unity." And people did. They bowed down. They sang songs. They raised their hands. They closed their eyes. They felt ecstasy. They felt joy. They felt like they were finally home. But those who refused were called troublemakers. I saw this. A young man said no. He said Jesus is Lord. He said I will not bow down. He said these beings are lying. They took him away. They said he was mentally ill. They said he was dangerous. They said he was a threat to peace. They put him in a van. His mother was crying. She tried to stop them, but they took him away. Families were divided. I saw a husband and wife. The wife wanted to worship the beings. She wanted to feel the healing power. She wanted to be part of the new unity. The husband said no. He said this is wrong. He said we must stay faithful to Jesus. She called him a hater. She called him a bigot. She said he was blocking her spiritual growth. She left him. She took the children. She went to live in the community of the beings. The husband was alone. He wept. He prayed. He stayed faithful. But he lost everything. The beings smiled through all of this. They smiled when people worshipped them. They smiled when families broke apart. They smiled when the Christians were taken away, but their eyes showed no love. When you looked at their eyes, there was nothing there. They were empty, like holes, like darkness, like a room with no light. I felt fear in my vision when I saw their eyes. I wanted to run away. I wanted to hide. I knew they were not from God. God showed me this so I would know, so I would tell you. These beings are not angels. They are not from heaven. They are from the other place. They are lying. Everything they say is the opposite of the Bible. They say there is no sin, but the Bible says we are all sinners. They say there is no judgment, but the Bible says we will all stand before God. They say all paths lead to God, but Jesus said, I am the way, the truth, and the life, and no one comes to the Father except through me. Please do not believe them. Please do not bow down. Please do not accept their healing if it means denying Jesus. Please do not let them divide your family. Stand firm, stay faithful, even if they call you a troublemaker, even if they take you away, even if you lose everything. Jesus is worth it. Jesus is the truth. These beings are not from God. Remember this when you see them in November. Remember what I told you. Remember. December 2026 will be a time of false peace. The beings from November are still here. They have not left. They are walking among us now. They are in the government buildings. They are on the television every day. They are giving interviews. They are smiling and saying that everything is going well. They are saying that the transition to the new way will be smooth. They are saying that everyone will be happy soon. People will celebrate holidays in December, but the holidays will have new rules. Christmas will still be called Christmas, but it will not be about Jesus anymore. It will be about the light. The beings will say that Christmas is about the light that came from the sky. They will say that we are all the light. They will have new songs. They will have new decorations. The crosses will be taken down. The nativity scenes will be put away. Instead, there will be symbols of the three suns. There will be triangles everywhere. People will exchange gifts and they will say happy holidays to each other, but they will not mention the name of Jesus. That name is becoming dangerous to say. I saw a family in my vision. They were putting up a tree. The children wanted to put an angel on top. The mother said no. She said, we put a star now, a star with 3 points. The children asked why. She said, because that is the new way. The father said nothing. He looked sad. He wanted to say something about Jesus. He wanted to explain the real meaning of Christmas, but he was afraid. He kept quiet. The children sang new songs about unity and light. They did not know the old songs about the baby in the manger. The old songs were not allowed in school anymore. January 2027 will bring cold weather. The temperature will drop. Snow will fall. But the weather will not be the only thing that is cold. People's hearts will become cold. They will become unkind. They will stop helping each other. They will start looking out only for themselves. The fear will be back, but it will be a different kind of fear. It will be the fear of being different, the fear of being noticed, the fear of being reported. Laws will change slowly in January. At first, it will seem small. They will say that hate speech is not allowed. They will say that hate speech includes saying that one religion is the only true religion. They will say that saying Jesus is the only way is offensive to others. They will say it is divisive. They will say it causes conflict. So the laws will change. People who talk about Jesus at work will be warned. Then they will be fired. I saw a teacher who had worked at a school for 20 years. She mentioned Jesus in her classroom. A student told the principal. The principal called her in. She was given a choice. Stop talking about Jesus or lose your job. She said she could not stop. She was fired that day. She packed her things in a box. She walked out to her car in the snow. She cried in the parking lot. February will be worse. The laws will become stronger. Families will break apart. The beings will say that children need to be protected from old thinking. They will say that parents who teach about sin are harming their children. They will encourage children to report their parents. I saw a girl who was 12 years old. She loved her parents, but she was confused. The being said that love means accepting everyone. Her parents said that some things are wrong. She did not know who to believe. Her teacher told her that if her parents were teaching her hate, she should tell someone, so she did. She reported that her parents prayed before meals. She reported that they read the Bible at night. She did not want to hurt them. She thought she was helping them. The authorities came. They took the parents for re-education. The girl was put in a home with other children who believed the new way. She cried every night, but she could not take back what she did. Parents will also report their children. I saw a mother whose son was 18. He refused to go to the ceremonies. He refused to bow to the beings. He said Jesus was his Lord. The mother was afraid. She was afraid of losing her apartment. She was afraid of being arrested. So she called the authorities herself. She told them her son was dangerous. She told them he was mentally ill. She thought they would just talk to him. She thought they would help him see the truth. But they took him away in a van. She stood at the window and watched him go. She never saw him again. It will happen quietly at first. No one will be arrested in loud ways. There will be no big announcements, just exclusion, just watching. People will stop inviting Christians to parties. They will stop hearing them. They will stop talking to them. Christians will sit alone at lunch tables. They will walk alone in the streets. They will feel invisible in their own towns. The winter will feel long and dark. The days will be short. The nights will be long. I saw snow falling on empty churches. The doors were locked. The pastors had been taken away. The pews were covered in dust. Snow piled up on the steps. No one cleared it away. No one came. The churches were empty. I saw people eating dinner in silence because they are afraid to speak. They are afraid their children will repeat what they say at school. They are afraid their neighbors are listening through the walls. They eat their food and they look at each other and they say nothing. The waiting is part of the pain, waiting for what will happen next, waiting for the knock on the door, waiting for the end. It makes people forget what normal felt like. They forget what it was like to sing hymns loudly. They forget what it was like to pray with friends. They forget what it was like to not be afraid. By the end of February, being a Christian will feel like being surrounded by people but having no one to talk to. You will be in a crowded room, but you will be alone. You will want to speak, but you will stop yourself. You will want to cry, but you will hold back your tears. I wept for the lonely ones. I wept for the mothers who betrayed their children. I wept for the children who betrayed their parents. I wept for the empty churches. I wept for the silent dinners. I wept because I knew that March would be even worse. But that is the next part of the vision. For now I am telling you about the winter, the long winter of betrayal. Please prepare your heart. Please do not betray your family. Please stay faithful even when it costs you everything. March 2027 will reveal the truth about the camps. I saw it happen in my vision. It started with a young man. He was 25 years old. He worked for the government. He had access to files. He saw things that made him sick. He saw the plans. He saw the buildings. He tried to tell himself it was not real, but it was real. So he copied the files. He put them on a drive. He sent them to news stations. He sent them to websites. He sent them everywhere. The documents leaked on a Monday morning. March 8, 2027. I saw the date on a computer screen. The documents showed the truth about the camps. They showed buildings that were ready. The buildings were in every state. They were in every country. They looked like hospitals from the outside. They had signs that said wellness center. They had gardens and parking lots. They looked peaceful. But the documents showed the inside. The inside had bars on the windows. The inside had locked doors. The inside had rooms for holding people against their will. The documents showed more than just buildings. They showed plans for what would happen inside. They showed rooms for interrogation. They showed schedules for re-education. They showed lists of medications that would be used. The young man who leaked them cried when he read them. He knew he would be arrested. He knew he would be killed, but he leaked them anyway. He wanted people to know. He wanted someone to stop it, but no one stopped it. The government knew about this for years. The documents showed emails from years ago. They showed meetings. They showed budgets. They showed that the government was planning this for a long time. They were waiting for the right time. They knew about the 3 sons before they appeared. They knew about the beings before they came down. They were working together. They were preparing. They were waiting for March 2027. March was the right time because by March people were ready. People were tired of the Christians. People were tired of the troublemakers. People wanted peace. People wanted unity. So when the documents leaked, the government did not hide. They admitted it. They said, yes, we have these centers. They said we are helping people who are confused. They said we are protecting society from dangerous ideas. They said it is for the greater good. Christians will start disappearing in March. It will happen at night first. The authorities will come to houses. They will knock on doors at 3 a.m. They will say we are taking your father for evaluation. They will say we are taking your mother for her own safety. They will say do not worry, they will be back soon, but they will not come back. The families will stand in the doorway watching the vans drive away. They will cry. They will pray, but the vans will not stop. I saw a mother in March. She had 3 children. The authorities came for her husband. She stood in front of the door. She said no. She said you cannot take him. The children were crying behind her. The authorities did not argue. They pushed past her. They took the husband. Then they looked at the children. They said these children need protection. They said these children are being harmed by religious extremism. They took the children too. The mother was left alone in the empty house. She sat on the floor and screamed. No one came to help her. Her neighbors heard her. They closed their windows. They turned up their televisions. They did not want to know. Pastors will be taken during church services. I saw this clearly. A pastor was preaching on a Sunday morning. It was March 15th. The church was half full. People were singing. Then the doors opened. Men in uniforms came in. They walked down the aisle. They did not rush. They were not angry. They were calm. They told the pastor to come with them. He stopped preaching. He looked at his people. He said, do not be afraid. He said, God is with us. Then he walked with them. They took him to a van outside. They drove him away. The people in the church sat there. They did not know what to do. They went home. They locked their doors. They waited for their turn. Bibles will be taken from homes. The authorities will search houses. They will say they are looking for contraband. They will say they are looking for dangerous materials. They will take the Bibles. They will put them in piles. They will burn them. I saw a pile of Bibles burning. The smoke went up to the sky. It smelled like paper and leather. It smelled like death. People will be put on lists. The lists already exist. They were made from phone records. They were made from internet history. The government knows who bought Bibles online. They have the receipts. They know who visited Christian websites. They have the addresses. They know who said Amen in text messages. They have the messages. They know who prayed on video calls. They have the recordings. Everyone is on a list. The list says who is safe and who is dangerous. Everyone who bought a Bible online will be marked. The mark means you are a risk. The mark means you need evaluation. The mark means you cannot travel. You cannot buy certain things. You cannot work certain jobs. You are watched. Everyone who said Amen in a text message will be watched. The watching means they know where you are. They know who you talk to. They know what you are planning. They listen to your phone. They read your messages. They are always there. You cannot hide. The lists were long. I saw a computer screen in my vision. The list had millions of names. It scrolled and scrolled. It never ended. The names were color-coded. Green meant safe. Yellow meant watch. Red meant take. Most Christians were red. The red names blinked. The computer was always updating. Every purchase was tracked. Every word was recorded. There was no privacy. There was no hiding. In March, the secret will become public. Everyone will know about the camps. Everyone will know about the lists. The world will not be shocked. They will be relieved. They will say finally. Finally, the troublemakers are being handled. Finally, the Christians are being stopped. Finally, we can have peace. They will not ask what happens in the camps. They will not ask why people are being taken. They will just be glad it is not them. It will happen fast. That is what shocked me. 1 week everything is secret. People are whispering about the camps. People are not sure if they are real. The next week it is normal. People are talking about it openly. People are saying it is good. People are reporting their neighbors. It becomes normal very fast. The change is quick. The acceptance is quick. By March 31st, the camps were full. The wellness centers had no more beds. They started putting people in gymnasiums. They started putting people in warehouses. The government built new fences. They built new walls. They said it was temporary. They said it was just until people were healed. But the people were not being healed. They were being broken. I saw this and I cried very hard. I cried because I knew the people on the lists. I cried because I saw the empty churches. I cried because I saw the burning Bibles. I cried because I knew that April would be worse. But that is the next part of the vision. For now, I am telling you about March. March 2027, the month when the secret is revealed. The month when the danger becomes real and cannot be avoided. Please do not be on the list. Please hide your Bible. Please be careful. But please do not deny Jesus, please. April will bring violence and death. The spring flowers will come out, the trees will get green leaves, the air will be warm, but the killing will start. It will be open, it will not be hidden anymore. The government will say that the Christians are resisting. They will say that the Christians are dangerous. They will say that force is necessary, but it is not true. The Christians are not resisting. They are just praying. They are just refusing to deny Jesus. That is enough to be killed. Good Friday 2027 will have services in basements. Christians will gather in secret. They will remember the cross. They will remember that Jesus died for them. They will take communion with bread and juice hidden in pockets. They will sing hymns very quietly. They will not use instruments. They will just whisper the words, but the guards will be at the door. I saw this. The guards will listen. They will wait for the amen. Then they will break down the door. They will take everyone. They will not arrest them gently. They will hit them. They will drag them. There will be blood on the basement floor. The blood will be on Good Friday, the day Jesus died for us. May will bring the medical experiments. They will call it therapy. They will say it is for healing. They will say that people need to be cured of their religious delusions. But it is torture. I saw the rooms. They look like hospital rooms, but they are not for healing. They are for breaking. They will strap people to beds. They will inject drugs into their arms. The drugs will make them confused. The drugs will make them forget. They will forget their names. They will forget their families. They will forget Jesus. That is the goal, to make them forget. They will use other methods too. They will use electricity. They will use water. They will use starvation. They will use noise, loud sounds that never stop, lights that never turn off. Sleep will be denied. Food will be denied. Water will be denied until the person says yes. Until the person says Jesus is not Lord. Until the person says I worship the beings. Until the person breaks. Some will break. Some will say anything to make the pain stop. But some will not break. They will die instead. They will die with the name of Jesus on their lips. They will die faithful. June will be when they take the children. The government will say they are protecting kids from harmful beliefs. They will say that Christian parents are abusing their children by teaching them about sin and hell. They will say the children need to be saved from this trauma, so they will take them. I saw a school in June. The children were lined up in the playground. The authorities checked their names against a list. The children whose parents were marked were separated. They were put on buses. The mothers ran to the buses. They screamed. They said, "Give me my baby." The fathers tried to stop the buses. They were held back by guards. The guards hit them. The fathers fell down. The buses drove away. The children were crying at the windows. The mothers were running after them, but the buses did not stop. The children will be put in schools that teach the new way. They will be taught that their parents were wrong. They will be taught that Jesus was just a story. They will be taught that the beings are the true gods. They will be taught to love the new world. They will be taught to report anyone who talks about the old way. They will forget their parents. They will forget Jesus. They will become part of the new system. The children in the new schools will sing songs in June. They will sing about the three sons. They will sing about unity. They will sing about love. They will not remember the songs their mothers taught them. They will not remember Jesus loves me. They will have new songs. They will sing them with smiles. The teachers will be proud. The beings will visit the schools and the children will bow to them. The parents who are still free will see this on television. They will see their children bowing. They will weep until they have no tears left. April through June will be hot and full of suffering. The temperature will rise. The flowers will bloom. The grass will grow, but people will die. I saw a field of flowers. Under the flowers there were bodies. Christians who were killed and buried in the ground. The flowers grew over them. No one marked the graves. No one prayed over them. They were just gone. The heat of June will make everything worse. The air will be thick. The sweat will mix with tears. The smell of death will be in the air. The bodies in the ground will swell in the heat. The smell will travel. People will smell it, but they will not ask what it is. They will know, but they will not ask. They will spray perfume to cover it. They will turn on air conditioning to hide from it, but the smell will be there. The truth will be there. I saw hospitals where Christians are not treated. If you are on the list and you get sick, you cannot go to the hospital. They will turn you away at the door. They will say we have no beds. They will say we cannot help you. They will watch you die on the sidewalk. I saw a woman with a broken leg. She was on the list. She crawled to the hospital. She begged for help. They closed the door. They locked it. She crawled away crying. No one helped her. I saw food lines where Christians are sent to the back. The government controls the food now. You must show your ID to get food. The ID shows if you are safe or if you are a Christian. If you are a Christian, you wait until the end. Sometimes there is no food left. Sometimes you wait all day and you get nothing. Your children are hungry. You are hungry, but you cannot buy food. You cannot grow food. You are dependent on them. They use food to control you. They use food to break you. It will not be hidden anymore. In April, May, and June, everything will be open. The violence will be on the news. The reporters will film the camps. They will film the arrests. They will film the children being taken. They will say it is for the greater good. They will say society must be protected. They will say the Christians brought this on themselves. They will say the Christians are the ones who caused division. They will say the Christians are the ones who refuse to unite. They will blame the victims. People will watch and nod. They will agree. They will say, yes, this is necessary. They will say, yes, we need peace. They will say, yes, the Christians were dangerous. They will agree because they are afraid. They are afraid that if they disagree, they will be next. They are afraid that if they speak up, they will be on the list. So they stay silent. They watch and they nod and they say nothing. I saw a man in June. He was my age. He was hiding in an attic. He had been there for 3 weeks. He was eating scraps. He was drinking water from a pipe. He was reading a Bible by the light of a small window. He was whispering the words. He was crying as he read. He knew he would be caught. He knew he would die. But he kept reading. He kept praying. He said, Jesus, I am coming soon. He said, I am ready. That is how I want to be. That is how we all need to be. I saw this clearly. Every detail was shown to me. The flowers and the blood, the heat and the fear, the children at the windows, the mothers running, the fathers falling, the hospitals closing their doors, the food lines, the news reports, the nodding heads. I saw it all. I cannot forget it. It stays in my mind all the time. Please hear me. April, May, and June of 2027 will be terrible. Please prepare your heart. Please decide now that you will not deny Jesus. Please decide now that you will not break. Please decide now that you will be faithful even when they take everything. Even when they take your children. Even when they take your life. Please be strong. Please. Segment 9. July ends the waiting. July 2027 will be the end. I saw July 17 in my vision, but I am not sure of the exact day. The heat will be strong. People will be tired of the summer. They will think nothing else can surprise them, but they will be wrong. The sky will tear open. I saw it happen. There will be no warning, no signs in the days before. It will happen suddenly. The blue sky will split. Behind the sky there will be light, not the light of the sun, not the light of the 3 false suns. This will be different. This will be the real light. It will make a sound. It will be very loud and you will feel it in your body. Your chest will vibrate. Your teeth will shake. It will not be a trumpet like in the movies. It will be something deeper. It will come from everywhere at once. The faithful who survived will rise up. They will be in their homes. They will be in hiding. They will be in the camps. They will be walking on the street. It does not matter where they are. They will rise. Their bodies will change. They will become light. They will leave their clothes behind. The clothes will fall to the ground empty. They will go up to meet Jesus. I saw myself rising. I was in the chapel. I was praying. I was 69 years old. My knees were bad. My back hurt. But when I rose, I felt no pain. All the pain was gone. My body was new. I felt only love. The love was everywhere. It was in me. It was around me. I was going to him. But I looked down for one moment. I should not have looked, but I did. I saw the people left behind. They were still on the ground. They could not rise. They were reaching up. They were screaming, not because they were hurt, but because they finally understood. They knew they had been warned. They remembered August. They remembered November. They remembered the old nun who told them. They knew they had chosen wrong. They had chosen the beings. They had denied Jesus. Now they saw the truth. The three sons from November will show their true faces. They will not be beautiful anymore. They will be ugly and dark. The people left will realize the beings lied. They will see that they were tricked. They will see that they worshipped monsters, but it will be too late. The sky will close. The light will be gone. No one else will be able to join. The separation will be final. I am 69 years old. I have served God for 48 years. I have no reason to lie to you. I do not want fame. I do not want money. I want you to be saved. August 23, 2026 is coming fast. Then November, then March, then July. The dates are real. The events are real. Please do not wait to believe until you see it happen. By then it will be too late. Please pray now. Please turn to Jesus now. While there is still time, I love you. I am crying as I write this because I know some of you will not listen. You will think I am a crazy old woman, but I have seen the future. It is fixed. It is certain. Please be ready. Please do not be left behind. I want to see you in July when we rise together. I want to hug you there. Please come with me. I feel great sadness for you. Please listen.